Good evening, everyone. My name is Shay Moraga, founder of Shay's Warriors Life After Cancer. It's been a while, and we wanted to make sure that tonight we did a live talk, listen, share in regards to our most recent retreat and our only live in-person retreat, the I Am Hope Reset Survivors Retreat. And who better to hear from than some of the actual people who attended. So really special talk, listen, share tonight. And I'm a little out of practice. So just so you know, Shay's Warriors is a 501c3 nonprofit that is local here to the Coachella Valley. We are an all-volunteer board of directors, and our mission is to inspire, inform, and empower other survivors and their families and friends through health, fitness, and the mind-body connection. We have healing resources and solutions for local and national networks of support. Talk, Listen, and Share is a way for survivors and thrivers to have real conversations around topics that help educate our cancer survivorship community and our friends and family. So I'd like to bring on Dr. Sonia Fung, who is my co-host with this show. Hi, Sonia. Oh, you're on mute. Let me unmute you. There we go.
There we go. Hi.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. I feel a little rusty doing this.
Exactly.
So, but tonight is going to be amazing because we have some amazing women here to share their experiences from our first ever Hope in Color retreat. And shall we start introducing them?
Yes. And Hope in Color is our big mural on El Paseo. So it's the
yes.
I Am Hope Survivors Reset Retreat.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's so crazy because before we bring them on, but it's so crazy that it's been like 3 weeks as of this week. It's been 3 weeks since we held the retreat. And I don't know about you, but I attended all weekend. And I am just still on this super huge high vibration. And just like we just had it the other day, I'm so excited even for next year's retreat, which we're always like talking about and writing goals and stuff down. And we had so much awesome feedback that it's just, I don't know, like I wish we could have like 3 retreats. It's a lot of work, but I wish we could hold 3 retreats a year.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would be. One of the things I think that's really important for people to know about this inaugural retreat is that it was 3.5 years in the making, right? Can you believe that? 3.5 years in the making because we got stopped by the world shutting down in the pandemic. And, we didn't know if we could host an in-person retreat. A lot of people told us it was very risky. Because the biggest reason why is because we raised all the funds through our nonprofit so that the survivors could be nominated to go to this retreat at absolutely no cost to them.
Very true. And we worked hard to make that happen.
We did a lot of events and a lot of merchandise sales and a lot of donors, and we had some amazing sponsors too, which I think that we should recognize. It was like the Gardens of El Paseo and Nothing Bundt Cakes. Our premier sponsor was JSP Toolbox, a management company. We had UseCap in Palm Springs and Skin Lab El Paseo, H2O Closet, Country Club Cleaners, EV Realty, Little Bar, Milk Makeup, Athletic Brewing Company, and Eisenhower Health, Lucy Percy Cancer Center was our sponsor for our meditation and healing space. So we had tons of grantors and, just a lot of awesome people that came to our rescue, I guess you'd say, during the pandemic, and just wanted to help us make this happen, right?
And a lot of in-kind sponsors too.
Lots of in-kind sponsors. Yes, and it was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of questions that we get too is who or how did people get nominated? And I thought that was important to address before we bring everyone on. But some of the people, so a lot of people local to Coachella Valley know who we are. But we're also on, we do Talk, Listen, and Share, which is virtual, and it's spread throughout the United States and wherever you can find YouTube and Twitter and all that good stuff. Oh, I'm going to mute you just a sec. And we also have, we have a lot of people that do that. But we put it out there in social media that people could be nominated. And we ended up with over 90 nominations. It was absolutely incredible, all the nominations that we had. We only ended up with funding for 25 women, and at the last minute, we added on 2 more women. So it was great to be able to have all the funding so that women could attend at no cost to them. And being a nonprofit and a small nonprofit, that's a lot. It was a lot. We did a full buyout of the Ingleside Inn, which is Melvin's in Palm Springs. And also we took up space in the Avalon Hotel. So it was just us and the women for the entire weekend, which with further ado, I really think I need to introduce them because I can talk a lot, but what's really important is hearing their experiences and everything. But they had to be between the 6 to 5 years of done with active treatment or have a doctor's approval, which the majority of them did. And local, our focus was local women. And then after local, we wanted to make sure that they also were willing to share their stories. And our committee that we had formed to read every single one of their applications was blown away by so many women were deserving of this, because it wasn't just a free retreat to get pampered. It was, and you'll hear for them in a second, but it was a retreat that was more than just being free and getting to go and spend a night and that, but it was about connection and community and healing and joy for the whole weekend. So what else do you have to say, Sonia, before we bring everyone on?
Am I unmuted? There we go. Well, when I was there for the first night, and the last part of that evening with the sound bath, that was such an amazing time. And the energy that all the women had when we were experiencing the sound bath was just it was just not just the sound healing, but it was you're bathing in each other's healing energy. And I just that's the biggest thing that I took from the retreat, and everyone just being so stoked to be there and meeting everyone and sharing their experiences as a survivor. And I just can't wait to hear about the rest of the retreat from these ladies.
All right. Well, let's start to bring them on one at a time here. It's going to be like a full reunion. Hi, everyone.
I think we need to unmute them.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to start unmuting people.
everyone, it's like completely casual. We're all like in this conversation mode and everything.
Unmute.
Um,
Unmute. Unmute.
all right, I think. And I think everyone else has to unmute themselves. If you've muted yourselves, go ahead and unmute. It's a little different than Zoom.
Did it
All
work?
right.
Yes.
Now I think everyone is here. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Shay.
Hello.
So, everyone, this is Debbie, Pat, Bobby, Shani, Chelsea, and Eileen. And I just want to say that it was awesome being able to spend the weekend with all of these lovely ladies. And the fact that we're going to hear from each and every one of these ladies tonight on their experience of the retreat. There's no holds bars. You guys can ask, like everyone out there who's watching tonight, you can ask questions. And we'll definitely answer those. We'll make sure that everyone is aware there's questions coming. Look, Jana is watching you guys tonight. She's right. I don't know if you could see this. She says, "So great to see your shining faces." Hi, Jana. And hi, Denise. Denise is out there. She's saying, "My sister Kathy had an unforgettable time." Like, how wonderful is that? And we're all back together. So, without further ado, tell us the biggest question I think we've gotten since the retreat is, what was it like?
Okay, I'll start. It was amazing. It was life-changing. It taught me to trust. I was very nervous about coming to this event, and I was nervous about everything, the accommodations, who's going to be there, what's it going to be like. And when I got there, it was nothing what I expected. It was 100,000 times better. I met wonderful, beautiful ladies that will be my lifetime friend, I know. It was healing. It was spiritual and a little physical. I learned to do a little bit of yoga.
What did you expect, Debbie? Like when we called you to tell you you were nominated for this retreat, and it was a weekend retreat at no cost. What did you expect? I mean, was it
nothing that glamorous? I mean, it was 100% glamorous all the way around. The foods, the accommodation. What I expected is like a lot of my business trips that I've had to go on with other coworkers, and they just throw us in the same room. And so I'm like, okay, who am I going to share a room with? Am I going to get along with this person for the weekend? Do I have to get dressed in front of them? I don't want anybody to see my chest. And that's just kind of the thing. And I kept asking you, Shay, please. And she kept saying, trust. And I'll tell you, I was this close to not trusting.
Oh, wow.
I was like ready to just say, oh, but I showed up and suited up and I trusted you, Shay, and God bless America, I did. It was fabulous.
Yeah, I think the day of the retreat, or the night before, because I remember I was already checking in at the Avalon. I think it was on Thursday.
Yeah.
And you sent a text message to me and said, are we going to have our own room?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I when somebody calls you up, and that was one thing I addressed with a lot of you when I called and made sure that you knew about the retreat and everything. But of course, things go on and you never know. And, again, you're based on your experience from something else too. And so, it was that process. And I think our other board member, Victor, started sending me a text message because I hadn't had a chance to answer you yet. And it was Shay, are they going to have their own rooms? And I'm like, wait a minute, you're on our board. You know better. And then I did. I just sent trust in this.
That's all she said was trust.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah. And it was all part of that process.
Yeah. And that was my biggest thing, trust.
Right.
And the accommodations were unbelievably beautiful and peaceful, and the food was amazing. But the women there were also amazing.
Yeah.
And I could keep talking and not let anybody talk.
I love hearing you talk, Debbie. I miss all of you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm wondering when we get to do a reunion.
Yeah.
It's only
Well,
been a
we're
few
kind of
weeks.
doing one right now, really.
Yes,
right?
that's true. Right.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about being virtual too, because we do every other month we have these virtual meetings, and then every other month we have in-person meetings for survivorship meetings in the desert. So yeah, who else wants to share when you started, like what it was going to be like? Go ahead, Pat.
So I know when you called me and we spoke about my going to the retreat, I was so nervous, was completely out of my comfort zone, literally. And I remember you saying, just trust the process, just trust it. And I'm saying, and I've been through so much. I'm thinking, I can do this. I've gotten through all this other stuff, right? And this is going to be good for me. So I'm going to just trust the process. But I know right up until checking in, I was so nervous because I'm like, I don't know anybody. What am I doing? I don't know anyone except for you. And Dr. Sonia is a celebrity to me because I watch all of the shares on the computer. So, but I got there and initially just greeted with, all these supportive women, everyone's smiling and a little bit nervous. And we get our key to check in. We got those cute little flower bouquets that were and I still have mine. It's beautiful. It's dried up and it looks gorgeous on my bureau. So it was, I know when we went to the dinner, I was still super nervous, and it was a little warm. And then, you started doing your speech and talking to everyone about your dream and how this has come to fruition, and it was just, you could just feel that something major was going to happen, that we were just all going to start connecting and slowly start talking to each other and opening up. The sound bath I've always wanted to try, and that was so cool. I loved it.
Wasn't she wonderful?
Yeah. And then the quilt, oh my gosh, the quilt. Yeah. So beautiful. And you could just feel, that this was going to be a great weekend.
What was the one thing that you were nervous about? I mean, when you said I was really nervous, was it?
Yeah, I was.
Like, what was the one thing that really just made you very nervous, I guess?
I don't know, because I am a pretty quiet person, and I only open up really to, a small circle of women. So I think that was it. I know I even had trouble opening up initially, and it started to come in late Saturday into Sunday morning. I started to feel like it was happening, but I think it's just my personality to just kind of slowly let people in. Yeah.
Yep. I'm the same way, Pat.
Really?
And I am. I have my little close circle, but there's something about being in a room full of people who've been where you've been. Mm-hmm. And so it was just this immediate, lovely, connection that that I've never experienced before, walking into a room and just almost already just like truly just loving and caring for these women,
Mhm.
So and then each day it just seemed to just get just more like a deeper connection, and it was nothing I've ever experienced before, and I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for that.
Me too. Me too. I found myself missing everyone as
Me
soon as
too.
it was over, be wanting to, check in with everyone.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
And,
I'd love to just thank the whole board and everything that you all did, because I feel like every single minute was so thought through. It was like there was never a moment that it was just kind of like, this is different. Like it was all just like thoughtful and meaningful, and it was just so good. And
Well prepared.
Yeah.
yes,
everything, everything.
yes,
From A to Z.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Intentional.
yes, yes,
Yeah, it showed.
yes, yep,
It showed. Yeah, I was anxious when I got there because I didn't know if I was gonna. I had this feeling I don't know if I'm gonna fit in. Uh, and that was mainly because I wasn't fitting in at that point in time with myself or the world around me, and I was excited to be there because I knew I needed something like that. But for some reason in my mind, I thought there was going to be like lectures. We were going to be sitting there. There wasn't going to be interaction, that we were going to be, told these helpful things that we can do, but we wouldn't be participating, that we wouldn't be sharing, and we wouldn't be loving each other. And the connection is what got me. From the instant we did the first exercises with sharing, with the staring in each other's eyes, the whole room, you could feel us all trust. I mean, it was instantaneous. From what I felt when I first got there Friday, and just the energy that, people were loosening up a little bit, but you could almost feel like the whole room sighed after we got done with that exercise. It was like we all realized that we were all the same. We all shared something, and we all went through different stuff. And I was kind of concerned because I had a different type of cancer, Wyatt, too. And, it didn't matter. We were there to find out how to take care of each other and ourselves after cancer, and not everybody knows how to do that. And I was so blessed because I was one of the most recent out of treatment. So I felt that I was like handpicked by God to be there, so that can be. And I feel like you, Shay, I wake up every day like I'm still at the retreat. I have this high, I have this happiness, I have this joy. And I've been talking to friends, and they can see it in me. They can see the difference.
Yes.
And you can't put a price on that. And it's, it's like they're saying, how you guys put this together. I can't thank anybody enough. The thought that went into it, the having Cecily, what the perfect person, just how easy she made everything. Because I'm not one to stand up in front of a group of people, or I can share things with a small group. And when you're first asked to do these things, it's like, oh my gosh. But it got to the point I wasn't even thinking about that. It just became easy to express myself, and the feelings would just come, and listening to everybody just was heartwarming. It was just the best experience.
I'm like, oh, I want to share. And they're like, oh, God, we're sharing all day. Sit down. And that's not normally me either. So that's just what it brought out too in me, that it was okay to say things and to bring your feelings out and not think people are going to think you're weird, you know.
Right. Or be afraid to just say it, you know? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But did Ellen, I mean, did you guys find that staring in the eye, the little exercise hard?
Yes.
Okay, good.
At
Yeah.
first, but then it just felt comforting.
But it took a few
The
seconds.
more you could feel their soul, like I
Yeah.
feel Jana's soul. It was like, yeah, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah, I was
It was comforting. You know, it was weird at first because you don't stare at each other's eyes like that. You know, it's like
right.
it's like
And
it's weird.
I'm more conscious when I'm talking to people now that I'm looking at them.
Yeah,
And
there
I'm
you
not
go.
wandering my eyes around, but I'm looking and I'm getting that eye connection.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal for me.
Well,
But
we've
it
lost a lot of eye connection, you know, with everybody on the phone all the time. You know, have you noticed when you take a walk or something, people are on their phones or they're listening to something and they don't look up and say hello like they did years ago, you know, or you enter a coffee shop or whatever, people were always talking. Now everybody's on the phone.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to remind ourselves that you have to look people in the eye. You don't have to stare at them like we did, but you do have to make that eye connection that I see you, you know.
Yes. And I've been doing a lot more walking. I mean, for me, it's a lot more walking. I'm doing between 5,000 to 6,000 steps every day.
Good
So
for
for
you.
me, that's a big deal. But I'm
Good.
not on my phone. I'm not listening to anything. I'm walking and I look at people and I
Right.
say hi. And people are like, wow.
Yeah. I never have my phone or music with me either. It's just me and the dog in nature. I like to look at what's around me.
Yeah. Well, I'm liking to look at people and smiling and saying
Yeah.
hi. It's cool.
Sorry, I keep getting up. It's that's why I went to another location so the dog wouldn't be aggravating me. And that's when I'm getting up, he's coming in, he's going out, he's coming in, and he's going out. So
he wants to be
that's
part of it.
That's
part of-
right.
He wants to be part of it. He likes to be part of everything.
I
But,
created mine so she wouldn't
I'm
be a
glad
problem.
I can hear all of you now and see all of you and not have the echo. So I don't know if it was the internet, but I'm back over at the house and it's working just fine now.
Good.
But
It's good, but you'd share with us, Nancy. You just, you know, it's funny, and I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to say this. When Nancy came in, I could see the uncertainty in your body and everything about the retreat. There was just such a like, I'm not sure, and I wasn't sure what it was.
yeah,
And Nancy knew me from prior. I've taught yoga for Eisenhower for the cancer center there, and you know, and you've been on Talk, Listen, Share, but you've been a viewer of Talk, Listen, Share before,
Right.
I believe. And you know, I can tell sometimes of uncertainty within just bodies. I mean, because that's what I do. You know, and food and all of that. These are all different things. And really, we just wanted to make everything as comfortable as we could. And it was hot. It was 111 degrees every single day. Go figure, right?
It's a desert.
It's Palm Springs. But, you know, tell us how you felt, Nance. I know, you know, and you have an allergy. And
yes,
so
I do. I have a
that's a
gluten
big-
yes.
big concern.
I know I was very fearful of that in being somewhere. I also couldn't be vaccinated either due to, you know, allergies to everything.
Mhm.
And it was advised that I don't. So I was nervous about that too. But obviously, I didn't come down with anything. And like Eileen, by the time Sunday came, I didn't want it to be over because I was feeling actually comfortable and out of, you know, that feeling uptight. But, you know, because it was a new experience to me. I've
Now,
never
Nancy
been to
was
a
the
retreat
first
before.
person I met.
Yeah.
And we sat and had dinner together Friday night and we were able to talk and I was so thankful that she gave me her attention and talked and we got to know each other that night. So you know, the rest of the weekend I'd look and I go, oh, good, there's Nancy.
But thank you everybody for, and especially Shay, for making me feel comfortable. Even though it was 111 degrees, I felt like I hadn't been out of my comfort zone at home for 2 years. So that was actually the first time I had been out, other than going to doctor's appointments and driving up to LA for business. So that was a big step for me, and I'm proud of myself for
Yes.
doing that.
Proud of you too.
Proud of you. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
thankful you came.
Yeah.
And you were killing it at the yoga classes. You
I love that picture you sent
killing
me.
it. Your balance, everything just was like right on point. Loved it.
Yeah, and as a result of that, I've been working out every day in the pool. Yeah.
Wow, good.
Good.
Mhm.
So it's just little tiny habits
Yeah.
formed during that short amount of time, because it makes us feel good. It makes us like want more. Look at the rainbow behind you, Eileen.
Yeah.
There's rainbow right there.
Rainbow behind me.
Yep.
Oh,
Love it.
they're following me.
I love it.
Huh.
How about Bobby or Chelsea? I hate to put you on the spot, but you are here. So, Bobby, she's like, I'm unmuting.
Well, my dog's squeaking a toy in the background, so I'm trying to keep her
It's all
from
good. It's all good. I mean, this
making
is
a noise.
virtual, so.
I cried when I got there because I've always been in control and always doing everything for everybody. And when I got there and the flowers, the bag, my room, it just overwhelmed me. So I was just in tears, and I was kind of like the others, like, I'm always in control what's going to happen, and started out with, I called the sound bath the voodoo thing from, because it was back in my day, but I ended up enjoying it. Now with the yoga, I've never done that before. And now I really do want to start it. And, I learned so much. Cecily taught me so much. I mean, just even from your name, let people know how to say your name and what your name is. And it was just, I just got back from a trip just last night. I had gone to Denver, and I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So they actually selected me to talk about living with OCD and cancer. So I got to speak at this over, it was like 1,600 people, and talk about this and let them know what kind of help, like I had my Shays Warrior shirts every day, and and let them know. And, before, I don't know that I would have been that comfortable. And the journaling was amazing because I've journaled, you learn, I'm 65. So it's like all your life, you're told to journal through your cancer journey. You're told to journal. I probably did maybe 6 pages of journaling through all of that just because it was hard to do. But man, I've really learned to really embrace the stuff that I learned there. And actually the things that I journaled, I have actually remembered and started doing. And, like the others, starting to walk more and do more. I hit 12,000 steps last week, and I thought I was just like did a marathon, and we came back. I had gone to Denver for the conference, and there was a place in Pagosa Springs, and it's called Treasure Falls, and it's about a 1/4-mile walk up, 200-foot elevation. I told my husband, let's just stay at the bottom. We'll take a picture to look nice. But you know what? I thought about all the stuff that we learned about not being afraid and to try it anyway. And so we got up to the top of the falls and took our picture from there. So,
Good for you.
this is the first time in my life I've actually used all the things I've learned at that, at that retreat, and it was so kind and lovingly given that even though we're okay, stand up and do this, stand up and do that. And it was out of my comfort zone. By doing it's really improved my life tremendously. And I am so thankful. And Eileen, man, can you draw?
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, I am just flabbergasted every time I see those. So I think that's going to have to be something in our next next retreat, some kind of drawing or something. But
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a
yeah,
plan.
Some
but
artwork for sale by Eileen.
Well, I
but,
shared with Shay, I haven't been drawing that long. Drawing is
Nuh-uh.
yeah, I didn't even know I could draw. I took one class at Old Town Artisan Studios and no one else showed up. And so I had a private 2-hour and found out that I could do it. And because my husband goes to bed early at night, it became something to look forward to. And I started doing a lot of it. Unfortunately, this last 8 months, I haven't done as much as I had in the past.
Sure.
But now I'm doing it with a whole different, well, I'm doing it with passion. As you can see in the last couple ones, what I'm feeling is coming out in my drawings. Yeah.
And you can see it. My breath gets taken away because I have no drawing, but the things that you draw, you can see it has so much meaning and intent coming from you. And I love those.
Thank you. Because I love doing it and I love sharing it like that. I really do.
Awesome.
I'm glad. It makes me feel good to know that I can make people smile. Shay has written some comments and, it's heartwarming. It makes me want to keep giving it like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have a special talent. Keep giving.
Yes.
Thank you. I will. I'm thinking about my next one. Oh, the dog wants to talk now. Go ahead.
I know.
Love it. Kelsey, what about you? You, I know, were nervous to come, very nervous to come, and didn't know what to expect. But courageously, you showed up not knowing anyone at all. And I think, I'm not sure, but you had just found out about Shay's Warriors prior to being nominated.
Oh, wow.
So tell us from your perspective what it was like to come and join us on this. Like what was your expectations, or what didn't you expect?
Honestly, I didn't have any expectations. I actually nominated myself. I had seen a post about this retreat come up on some Facebook page that I was a member of, and I thought, I never win anything. I've never won anything really. I'm not lucky. So let me just apply, see what happens. And then a couple weeks later, I get a call and it's like, you have to come and join us. And I'm like, okay, real, this is happening. And like you said, I didn't know anybody. I hadn't met you before. I hadn't met anybody else. And I live in Phoenix, and I made the 4-hour drive out there. It was great. I had a solid playlist. That's what kept me going. It pumped me up. I got there. I was so excited. But just kind of like everybody else, I'll echo their feelings, just nervous, not knowing anyone coming into it, just feeling very uncomfortable. I don't want to say that I'm shy. I guess I would consider myself an extroverted introvert, where I can kind of play both sides of it depending on the feeling in the room, how I read that. And when I arrived there and checked into my room, all of a sudden this wave came over me where I just froze, and I felt like a deer in the headlights and didn't know what to do. I was excited before then, but then that happened and I just felt so uncomfortable. The first person I met was Kathy, and she was amazing. And then Eileen came right on over. And I think from that moment, with the three of us just kind of talking and sharing our experiences, all of that just shattered. And I just felt like I came out a little bit more. So going into dinner was fun and exciting. And then waking up Saturday morning and doing the stretch and stuff by the pool, I think it kicked off the day in the right manner, where every moment after that, I just felt like an onion, just layers peeling back at a time, where I was able to expose myself a little bit more. And then I think somebody commented, Eileen, it may have been you, about the gazing into the eyes. I think that, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. That was the moment for me where everything opened. Carrie was staring into my soul, and no words were spoken, just tears, both sides of it, because it was just we've had this connection, we felt it, and it was amazing. And that's when I realized how grateful and fortunate and appreciative I was for that opportunity to meet this amazing group of women, strong survivors, somebody to relate to. I think the common ground that we all shared was like, yes, we have friends and family that we were able to speak with during our journeys and, you know, communicate our feelings to them. But when somebody can't relate to exactly what you're going through, it's still a barrier there. But meeting these 24, 25 women that have been through it, traveled this road, was the most amazing, heartwarming experience of my life. And honestly, eye-opening. And over these last few weeks, I've already done things that have kind of amazed myself, and I'm continuing to do that.
Yay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like that. Woo-hoo.
I remember calling you up and our committee. So nominations were two ways, and I love that you brought up that you nominated yourself, because you could either be nominated by somebody or you could nominate yourself. And it was over the 90 nominations that we have. I keep saying applications. It wasn't application. It was nominations. And for someone to nominate themselves is very much courage screaming out.
Yeah.
It's very courageous for you to nominate yourself, because when you nominate yourself, you're opening up everything. And I remember the person who in our committee who read your nomination form out loud. And I was like, wow. Like, I was in tears when I was reading it, and hearing it. And I just thought, yes, she needs to be here, you know? So I commend you for taking that huge step, because you were already taking that step to your healing journey prior to coming to the retreat. And that takes a lot of courage, and you are a strong warrior, courageous warrior. So I'm so glad you are here. I'm so glad you're still a part of being here. See, it's like
Give you a hug.
Yeah, because again, you know, we had people that didn't know. Some of the board didn't even know what was going to go on until we got to that last phase of the retreat, on purpose, because there is an element of surprise and there is an element of the unknown. And that was done intentionally, because just like our cancer, it's unknown.
Yeah.
What's going to happen, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it happens and it starts unfolding. It's like those layers of the onion start to peel. I guess an onion isn't a great thing because they stink. So let's talk the layers of a rose. You start collecting rose petals, right? Let's get some visuals in here.
Or the feathers, losing the feathers.
Losing the feathers, exactly. So there's this element of the unknown, and then the trust.
The trust.
And once you start that healing process, that vulnerability, that courage, that strength, it took a lot of strength for you to write that. A lot of courage, a lot of vulnerability. And then you got here. And you're already implementing what you learned at the retreat after. Like, we're all still smiling, right?
Yeah. I think trust is a big thing, because when you learn to trust others, you're then trusting yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget that in order to trust, you have to trust yourself. And when I lose confidence, I'll second guess things. And I didn't second guess anything during that retreat. And I'm not second guessing things right now either. You know, I'm really open to so much right now.
what going away with leaving the retreat and going away with 30 other friends, do you guys now feel like you have this sisterly bond that if something happens, you can call that friend up or send them a text or whatever and instantly be lifted up?
I think we're already doing that.
Yeah, I think, I was just going to say that. I feel that each day on Facebook.
I know that, but I want everyone else to hear that.
Yeah. There's definitely, and it's one of those connections that you feel like I've known you guys for a long time. I don't feel like I just met you a couple weeks ago. I feel like you've been a part of my life. And I know you'll continue to be, but I feel like, we've created this wonderful family. So. Well, we planted a garden. See?
Yes. And it's growing.
Yeah.
So. And Dr. Sonia, I've seen you on our Facebook groups. And so when I saw you there the first night, I was like, oh, good, she's going to talk.
Surprise.
You have such good topics that you bring to the conversation. And you guys have missed it, so let's hope that she comes soon again. Like I'm already thinking, can I pay to come next year? I would be happy to pay the full price to come. I don't want to.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Debbie. But we have everything recorded in our YouTube and our Facebook.
Yeah. Do people out there in the big world know that? Do they know they can see those and then listen to your talks there?
I hope so. I think we've been doing a good job promoting our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel where these videos live, and anybody can access them at any time. And this video will also be up as well on our YouTube channel and our Facebook. So if you need extra uplifting and see what kind, and maybe they're new to Shays Warriors and don't know what we're about, right? This is a great intro opportunity for them to learn more about what Shays Warrior stands for and how, you have created this strong family bond and it continues to flourish. And I think that that's an amazing thing. And it's such a gift. And it just keeps on, you keep on paying it forward, right? So thank you so much. I love listening to all of you women and your experiences, and I think it just brings joy and hope to all of our viewers out there. So thank you.
Viewers who don't know, go find it, because there's a lot of very interesting, it's amazing the things you can learn that I didn't know going into my cancer treatments. And I'm trying to write these notes and I'm going crazy. Then all of a sudden I realize, I can go back and rewatch that. So Chelsea, if you haven't seen all of them, go find those. You'll love them. They're very wonderful. Good English.
Well, we have a question from one of the viewers. What do you need moving forward?
Another retreat.
Yeah, the continuation of the support and the sharing and being there for one another. Because if the one thing that I learned is that through the retreat and just through my own personality is that no matter what I go through, you come out of it and then you have this downtime and you start to regress, so to speak. And now I know that there's so many people that I can call or text or, message and say, I need to talk right now. There's something going on. I'm not sure what it is, or I'm just blue today. And I wouldn't have done that before. And I don't even do that with my really good friends, especially through this. So I think that's for me going to be opening up more for me to give back for, pay it forward. So.
I'm going to echo that too, Eileen, because I think paying it forward might be something so fulfilling. I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups, but I'm not very active on social media. Like I don't post a lot. I don't really comment, that kind of stuff. Recently with all of you, I have, and I think that that's actually kind of a result of this retreat. But the one thing that I did notice myself doing last week was like this Peloton breast cancer survivor page that I'm a member of. There was a post on there, and it was a younger woman my age, similar to my age, and she had this post and was just like describing how kind of scared she was and was asking for like suggestions and just, how we all feel, but not everybody voices. And I don't know why, but it was right after the retreat. I just felt compelled to comment on it, and I did. And she like reached out to me, and I've been like answering questions for her, and told her like, anytime you need something, like just let me know. Like, obviously I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you my experience, and then you can ask your doctor like those questions. So the paying it forward, I think, is actually what I need, like to figure out how I can help share my story and let others know that we all gone through it, and there is this sisterhood out there for support.
Well, that's what Shay kept asking me, and I kept saying that, I want to help. I want to be there for other people. And I'd like to reach out to more people that have been through reproductive cancers like myself, and even lung cancer too, which, because I've had both of them. So, if I can help in any way, or just maybe even communicate a little bit with my doctors and my nurse practitioner to kind of, I know that some of them know about Shay's Warriors, but I think some of us, like myself, thought it was more geared only towards breast cancer. And I think the word has to get out that this is life after cancer, And that's the beautiful thing about the retreat, is that I don't think any of us, after a while, really the degrees of the types of breast cancer you had or what I had wasn't really relevant. It was the fact that we all shared going through cancer.
One thing I've done is I still do lymphedema physical therapy. So I had some extra Shea Warriors pamphlets, and now my physical therapist office has them sitting in there. Because my physical therapist, she specializes in lymphedema, and so it's good. So they have those in the office now, and I just think it's good to try to reach out now. I never wanted to reach out to anybody. Now I just want to reach out to everybody.
No, I know what you mean.
Like you can get questions answered, and people will talk to you. So,
and this is all peer-to-peer support. I mean, the doctors and the nurses, the physical therapists, all of that. The medical community is doing exactly what they should be doing, right? They are helping us get through a time when we go through cancer, and then following up, or at least hopefully following up with us after we're done, right?
Yeah, right.
And then it's up to us to really, like, a lot of times, or how I felt when I was done, I was thrown out into the world, and you could contact a therapist or something like that, and that's fine. There are a lot of amazing therapists out there. There's a lot of social groups for cancer survivorship, but I needed something more connecting, more of just exactly what we're doing, and being in the community where at the time that I was done with my cancer, I went to a support group, but it wasn't connecting with me. So I think the beauty of what we've created here with Shay is this innate connection that we all have, because it's not just breast cancer, it's not just lung cancer, it is life after cancer. It is a difference. No, go ahead.
But there's also the important thing that you have brought up before is the mind-body connection that you don't get in therapy. I've been in therapy for something else, and I thought that therapy might benefit me, but after going to the retreat, there's no way that I would get what I got in those few days, because it's one thing to get the emotions out, but then the body has to release that energy and stuff. And whether it's through the walking or the breathing or yoga or just something, it has to all be doing it, at the same time. You have to, because I find myself now every morning breathing. That's the first thing I'm concentrating on before I get out of bed. And because I had a little bit of back pain from that little fall that I had, it really helped to get out of bed that way. So, I'm not boohooing therapy at all, but I really think that when you go through the stuff like this, we really do need to have the body and the mind.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about with what I was searching for was that mind-body connection, like everything all encompassed at one. Because Eisenhower, the Cancer Center, Lucy Kersey, has an amazing breast group that is every Wednesday at noon. And I finally, after I was done, about a year after I was done with my treatment, I found that group, which was great because at the time I didn't know about that group when I was going through my cancer treatments. So it was kind of this self-learning exploration and who do I talk to? Because I also didn't know anyone my age who had a young child in school still.
Yeah.
To be able to find out, there's all these things that come up, like, do I need to have a will? And, and what happens if something happens to me? There's all of these other things that some of the women that I knew that had just finished breast cancer, they didn't deal with because their children were already grown and out of the house and, all of that. So we have so much to offer and you have so much to offer to be able to share your stories at every stage where we're at, which is phenomenal.
I thought that's what helped me with having this group too, is because since I am older and didn't have some of those things to worry about or be concerned about, it opened my eyes to how now I can tell people, I know someone you might be able to talk to that can help you with that. I didn't have to go through that, but here's someone that can help you. Yeah.
I think with our sharing our stories, it was so important because after treatment, and today it's been a year that I finished my treatment. Yes, I feel like, and I did this also, that I was done and I wanted to just run and I wanted to be done. Like I didn't want to look back. I wanted to just pretend like almost like it didn't happen. And so I stopped sharing my story.
Yeah.
So it was such good therapy to be in a room full of women who knew exactly what I was saying when I wanted to pretend like it didn't happen. And I, just wanted to just move forward. But I needed that retreat to kind of go, you know what, Shani, you need to share that story. Yeah. It's a part of who you are. So
that's it. That's it exactly.
Yeah.
The retreat really, it opened up my mind to all these things that I was pushing down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the journaling was something that I have the journal on my nightstand and I still go back to it every morning and I read and I'm looking through everything that was going through my mind that weekend. And I got so much from just, reading those things that I said, this is what I'm going to do. This is, the way I'm going to move forward today and plan out the day accordingly. I know since the retreat, I've been dreaming so vividly. I don't know if anyone else has been doing that, but literally coming right out of the retreat, the first week, these dreams are vivid, and I feel like the weekend just completely opened me up.
It was a blessing, I think.
It was.
it was like fate that it unfolded that way. Similar to you, Shani, I think mine's on like the other side of it, where I was diagnosed right at the beginning of COVID. And for me, everything moved so fast that I'd never even processed it until the retreat. And that's why I was so incredibly emotional and like, I won't use the onion, but like rose petals, like
Yeah, there you go.
it was like the first time that I had talked about it, really like opening up about it. So it was exactly what I needed, and I didn't know I needed it.
Yeah.
And see, and I'm noticing because it was a year ago, July, that I first spotted. And then in August, I really started to bleed. So I'm coming up on that realization of, oh my gosh, this journey started a year ago. And I noticed when it first popped up in my head, there were emotions there. But instead of it like overwhelming me, it was like I just realized, okay, yes, it's, this is part of it. Just face it and, know that tomorrow, it might happen again, because you're on this journey for a while. So,
Yeah.
Shay, I have to just say that there's artwork behind you that's absolutely beautiful.
yes.
But it's like, I swear, it's like
Yeah.
It's our angel wings.
you are. Okay, I was gonna say you're an angel.
Yeah.
You are an angel to so many, and so that artwork is so perfect.
Did
You
someone
really
paint
are.
that for you? Do that for you? Is that an original done for you?
This is an original that is done by a local artist in town, Mike Emery, I believe is his name. And this art was actually, it was one of the bidding items at American Cancer Society event that I went to locally. I think it was in 2018. And I saw the colors. And the colors vividly draw you in, right? It just
Right.
draws you in. And part of Shay's is Living Hope in Color. And I had just finished all of my treatment. I saw this and I'm like, I have to have that painting because of the fact that I saw such vivid colors with this. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
That's perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's an amazing local artist in Palm Springs. So thank you. It hangs here in my office to remind me to always spread your wings, be vulnerable, share, courage. I mean, nothing lasts forever. You know?
Hmm.
That's the reality that we find out through cancer. It's that we're not immoral.
Yeah.
But when we keep and this is wings, but if we keep our arms wide open, our hearts are wide open, and we can share our stories, that helps somebody else heal just a little bit.
Yeah.
We only have to help one person. It's one person more than we had helped if we didn't share our story, right?
Right.
I can't even tell you how amazing tonight has been. That hour went quick.
Wow. It did. It did.
Really quick. And I will say that this is just the beginning. So the retreat is the retreat, and there is virtual talks just like this
Yes.
every month. It is the second and fourth Wednesday of every month right here. We have a live and we have a pre-recorded one. So you can always put that in your planner. We're always looking for people to share their stories. So you guys know I'm already emailing you. I had to back off a little bit of the emails because I didn't want you guys to just erase them. We have some amazing in-person events coming up. Our next survivorship gathering is on August 17th at 5 o'clock at Jay's Deli in Palm Desert. It is not only a survivorship gathering, it's also a mini fundraiser for our next retreat.
Good.
Okay.
So definitely, if you're in town, come to that. It's amazing. It'll be fun. There'll be appetizers, mocktails, cocktails, and hors d'oeuvres. So we have some of that. And then if you go to our events calendar on shayswarriors.org, you will be able to see all the fun events we have coming up in the next couple months. September, we have virtual stuff. And then in October, we have something going on almost every single week, because that's Cancer Awareness Month, of course. And November is a huge birthday bash. That's when Shays Warriors became our 501c3. And then in December, we always do a fun drive. And we do the drive with partnership with the cancer centers. We actually, for the last 3 years, have brought little love bombs of hope to the people at the cancer centers during that time. So we look forward to doing that again this year. And Shays Warriors is about giving hope, giving inspiration, and just sharing and spreading the love, because we all want to be heard and seen. And in the end, we want to be loved. And we have a connection like no other, especially with the club that no one wants to be a part of. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just do this really quick. I'm going to go ahead and thank everyone for being a part of tonight's show. Thank you for joining us. Mark your calendars for the 27th, when we will have a pre-recorded show going on that night. And if you love what we do, or you have topics that you want to share with us or you want to hear about, please drop us a line. Let us know. We'd love to collaborate with communities, both here in the Coachella Valley and farther away. As always, our programs are all complimentary. But if you want to donate to our cause, just know that every single dollar supports our annual survivorship retreat, our in-person workshops and programs, and nobody is paid to do what we're doing with Shays Warriors. We have a 100% all volunteer board, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. I am very lucky to have the board that I do, and all of us that donate our time, our talents, to be able to make this all happen. Go to shayswarriors.org for more information. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Until next time, have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
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 Wonderful seeing everyone.